Ethan, University of Michigan last year, you were able to come back in January. What did you see out of that second half of the college season with your game and your development?
Yeah, just coming back from injury was tough, but happy I got through that, and then going into the playoffs really found my game, found my stride, and luckily we got to make a push at the end of the season, so we came together as a team and got to the Rosen Four, so kind of maximized the amount of games I could play, which was really nice.
When you say you found your game, found your stride, what specifically did you find?
I think just not playing a game for close to 9 months was tough. You kind of lose a little bit of your habits, a little bit just pieces to your game. So I think piecing everything back together was the key thing for me throughout the first 5-6 weeks of my return.
When you've talked to the Devils in the past at development camp last year, even throughout the season, what were the major areas they wanted you to improve, and what were the major areas they were impressed with?
I think the main areas to improve is just continue to work on my defensive game, be okay with nothing happening out there, shut down their top players. That's kind of the priority for me. My two-way game comes naturally, so jumping up in the play is kind of second nature to me. So I got to sometimes tone it back, but just pick my spots. And then what they like is I move my feet well, so just continue to skate, use my feet to my advantage, and then just compete, just work all over the ice.
Ethan, what was it like sitting out that long because of your injury, and where did you sort of see maybe the mental side of your game grow? Because I figure that's probably what you're working on most at that point.
Yeah, so with the shoulder, you feel almost healthy pretty early on, so you feel like you can get on the ice before you actually can. The doctors clear you. So I think that's the hardest part is just accepting that you're not going to be out there. You can't help your team, and we had ups and downs throughout the first half of the season as a team, so just seeing that from the stands was so tough and not being able to do anything. But I'm almost glad I went through it. I think it's a part of hockey. Injuries are definitely a part of the sport, so hopefully there's not a next time. But if it was to ever happen again, then I think I'd be mentally prepared.
What did you learn about yourself in that process?
I think just, I don't know, consistency is huge with rehab. Learning about myself, I don't know.
On the mental side of the game, right?
I don't know. I feel like, honestly, I took it pretty well. I had a little bit of a rough stretch, midway through when I thought I could be skating, like I mentioned.
Right.
But mentally, I feel like I was pretty confident in my return when I got back, and then throughout the process, just, I don't know, sticking with it.
Down the stretch in Michigan, there were some guys out. You made a pretty significant impact. What did that do to your confidence?
I think it was just proving to myself that making a return was so special, and to make an impact at the end of the season like I did, and the way that my game developed by the end of the season was just, like you said, built my confidence, and then going into the next season, I hope to build on that even further.
Going into next season, a lot of turnover in Michigan. Have you discussed your role with the coaches at all and what it's going to be next year?
Just continue to prove myself. I know my role. I know I'm going to put some more minutes up next season, so I think I'm super excited for that and ready for the opportunity.
What did you see out of Casey's growth at Michigan this year?
I mean, unbelievable. His instincts, his skills are, honestly, I've never seen him before. So the stuff he can do out there individually, and then the way he finds teammates is so impressive. I'm so excited for him. See what he can do next year.
You've been to multiple development camps here. You've seen this roster change. What are you seeing out this year's group and the intensity out there in the second on-ice practice?
Intensity is very high. It's very impressive. A lot of big guys out there, especially in the D group. So I think that'll be really cool for next year to see. I guess nobody's getting to your net, and no one's getting to your goalie. So it'll be cool to see. And then it's a great group off the ice as well. We're really connecting off the ice, and even the Europeans and the Americans, maybe a little bit of a language barrier, but we're getting through that and definitely bonding.
Let's start here at Devils Development Camp. 2 days on the ice so far. What are your first impressions of being here, and how has this experience been?
I mean, it's a great organization, great opportunity for everybody here. I mean, for example, today we had only a deep practice, so we had the possibility to work on specific things with coaches. We got a lot of support here, so it's pretty easy to get better, so we're enjoying every moment.
you signed with the Devils, an entry-level contract back in March. What were the biggest areas they said they wanted to see you continue to improve, and what did they really lay out as a potential role here?
I mean, to improve, for sure, it's my play with pucks. Everything around the blue line, shooting pucks, finding lanes, and for sure my physical side, my skating, and the way I'm playing defensively is the thing that they want me to bring here and to keep improving. I mean, and yeah.
It's been a very fun journey for you throughout your hockey career. What's the significance of you being able to sign back in March?
What you said? Sorry.
The significance to sign with the Devils, your entry-level contract. What did it mean to you?
Oh, I mean, it's a dream come true. I mean, I didn't get drafted my first year, so being able to sign with the New Jersey Devils was really, really exciting for me. It helped me to go through my last season too. It's good for confidence, so it helped me a lot, and I'm really excited to show them what I can do on the ice.
Your team won the championship this year in Major Juniors. What did you learn through that experience? What was it like to win a championship? What were some of the things you didn't know about postseason hockey?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first big run I did in my junior career. I was there since the beginning of the rebuild. So learning how to win, being nice with people, being around of good people, it's something that helped every players. And I mean, just playing again against the best players in Canada, for sure it helped me to improve my game too. So it was a really good season to me, and I enjoy it a lot.
As someone who looked up to Martin Brodeur to be in this organization, what's the significance of that?
Yeah, it's really nice. He's from Quebec too, so I was watching him growing up, and on my first interview with them, he was there, so it was really special for me. And also for my father, he was a big fan of Martin Brodeur because he was a goalie when he was younger. So yeah, it was special, and it was by far the easiest interview I had with NHL team because he was there, so it was pretty nice.
Did you get to see him so far in development camp here?
I didn't have the chance to talk with him, but for sure if I saw him, I'll say a little hi, so yeah.
And what's your plans for next year?
For sure my objective is to play for the Utica Comets. It will be the first step of my professional career, I think, so I'll work hard during this summer and try to do my best at camp.
And where are you planning on training this summer?
In Quebec. I'll stay. I'm here. I'm there since I'm 12 years old. So I'm pretty. I don't know how to say it, but like I'm familiar with them. So they know what I need to work and what I need to improve. So it's going to be a hard summer for me. A good summer to improve everything off the ice and on the ice. So pretty excited about it.
What do you think is the biggest difference in your game from last year to this year, and maybe what made the Devils come to you with that contract?
I mean, I always been a good defenseman, but this year for sure I bring more offense. I had more opportunities to show this side of my game. So for sure it's something that the Devils might have seen in me.
Topias, you just played your first full year with the Utica Comets. What was the experience like playing in the A? What's the biggest things you learned about that level of professional hockey?
I mean, it was a lot different than I'm used to back in Finland, but like I like it. It's more physical, but I like it.
Where do you find that you had the best developments in your game during that season?
I think on my defensive side, like getting more toughness and that kind of things in my game.
What else do they want to see from you, maybe this off season, to work on heading into next year?
More strength. That was gaining weight. That's it, basically.
And just looking at that Utica Comets team, having some of the guys here, what are you seeing out of the competition level at development camp so far?
I mean, there are a lot of good guys here, a lot of good players, so it's a good competition every day here.
Your first year in Utica, who was someone in the locker room that you really like hung out with a lot and they took under your wing?
I mean, Hataka, that was obviously other Finnish person, but like there was a lot of guys like Dylan, who's right now here, and there were a lot of good guys there, like good group.
For you, what's the biggest difference between playing in Finland compared to the AHL?
It's a lot more physical. Like I think that's the biggest thing, and the situations comes a lot faster. The rink is smaller, so everything comes fast.
Being here today or this week, what is it that you're working on for yourself in your game that you came in thinking, this is what I want to improve on the most?
I would say maybe on my defensive side of the game, like box outs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Hataka. What have you seen out of him that's allowed him to attain success so quickly?
Oof. What can I say? I mean, there's a lot of good things on his game. Like obviously his skating and defensive ability. That's one thing I'm looking.
Let's go over last season. What were the biggest developments you saw in your own game, and where do you just feel like you can keep taking those next steps?
I would say I think I took strides just in becoming a little more complete. Had a little more responsibility this year, being a 200-foot player, killing plays in the D zone, penalty killing. So I think, it was a good year for me to just kind of start fresh and rebuild some of the baseline stuff that's going to help me get to pro and those defensive habits. And then towards the end of the year, I think I made big strides as well, just figuring out how to apply my offensive skill set into that kind of scheme. And I think I can still take strides within my skating and just lower body strength. I think it's all going to come together, and I think just that's going to be something I need to continue working on to make the jump to pro.
Talking about that jump to pro, what's kind of your off-season plans, and what are you expecting for next year? Where do you think you'll be?
In terms of the plans, just getting stronger and faster. I got a pretty good group I'm training with right now, pro guys back home in Winnipeg. So make sure that I keep pushing myself and learning from those guys, talking to guys who have already made the jump. And then in terms of where I think I'm going to be, obviously I have no clue. The goal is just to come into camp and try and put on the best performance I can. There's a new coaching staff here in New Jersey, and talking with the development staff, my goal is just to come in before the team goes to Prague and try and make the best impression that I can to either earn a spot or take some feedback and go down to Utica and try and continue to develop there.
Who are some of the pros that you work out with in Winnipeg?
Seth Jarvis in Carolina is a young guy who just kind of made the jump. Obviously, he didn't play in the American League. He went straight to the NHL. But a guy who had a different path would be like Cody Glass. He was a really high draft pick, and it kind of took him a little bit more time to figure it out and make that transition to the NHL. So two kind of different examples, but really good role models. That's just two of them. I don't know if you want me to list off all of them right now, but there's plenty. And even just the staff that I'm working with hasn't been where I've been training the whole time, right, throughout their careers. So they've seen a lot of different stuff, even in different sports. So it's just important to be an active listener, I think, and to try and take as many lessons as you can.
What did the NHL preseason last year teach you?
Honestly, just how big and strong and fast everybody is. You can't really put into words the difference it is when you're making a jump, say from junior to that. But once you're there, it's kind of like you have a little bit of a feeling of how fast and strong those guys are. And then it becomes more mental than physical almost, I think, where you just got to think the game at that speed, and you got to be able to see plays before they happen because you don't have as much time. You got to be, proactive, proactive, not reactive.
Tyler, your first pro season down the ECHL, what did you learn most about your game and what it takes to be a professional goaltender?
I think the big thing I took away was just the habits you need to be a professional athlete, and I think that was a big learning step for me was figuring out how to eat right, how to do it all yourself. Just the professional habits I think I picked up on was big success.
Who did you rely on to learn that stuff from?
I just asked some of the coaches, some of my friends I know that are professional athletes, professional hockey players, and they helped me out a lot. And the end of the season when Isaac Poulter came down, he lived with me, and he showed me some of his pro habits, and I picked up on those, and I think that was a good thing for me. What's
next? What do you want to focus on? What's this off season look like?
I think the big thing for me is pacing my game. Every level you move up, it gets faster, and you need to be stronger and quicker. So I think I just got to focus on getting my pace up.
What's your biggest goal for this upcoming season?
I want to play the best that I can wherever I am and for whatever team. And if I ever get the chance to be called up anywhere, then I want to be ready to go for that and just play the best for the team I'm with, and then hopefully move up the ladder.
What's the biggest trick for mental acuity when you're a goaltender? Like, how do you work on the mental aspect of your game?
I think, obviously, mental side of the game for goalies pretty big. I just try and have that mentality of save the next puck. If a goal goes in, just keep playing and keep playing my game and then stop the next one.
What are you taking away from this development camp and just being able to have the resources of everyone here, different levels of talent, just being able to play against some really tough players this week?
Yeah, I think it's great seeing all these guys out here, some really good players out here, which is good to see, and take everything and I can from all the great coaching staff they have here, and absorb everything I can for the few days that we're here, and then take that back with me for the rest of summer.
I know that Markstrom was a big storyline for the Devils. Have you ever followed his career? He's one of the goaltenders that you tend to look towards?
I have, yeah. In the last few years, I've been watching him. I like how he plays the game, and was trying to pick a few things out of his game and try and implement them into mine. And obviously he's had some success, lots of success actually in the past. So just trying to look at him and try and be like him pretty much and have success like him.
Specifically, what are one or two of the areas that you really like about his game?
I think just how he plays positionally and how competitive he is, I think, is a big one. Going back to getting more pace in my game, I think the competitive side is really important. So just trying to get there and get better at that.
Is there anything in particular you feel you improved in your game this past season?
Kind of along the same lines as what I've been talking about with the pace side. I think even just last year I could notice a difference in how quickly I am in the crease, and I think I can still get to another level. So I'm going to continue to work on that, but I think that was a big one for me.
Was there anything that Adirondacks playoff run taught you?
I think just you got to be a team. You got to work for every single person in that locker room, and if you don't, then you can't make it far. And we came up a strong team in Florida, and they're just like us. Everyone would do whatever for anyone in that room, and I think that's a big thing. It's just chemistry with their teammates.
Last season, how do you feel you improved? Where were the biggest areas that you still want to continue to improve off of?
I think I got a lot better in a lot of areas. Just continuing to be more consistent in all areas of my game. I think defensively, I keep coming a long way. That's a big thing that I prioritize. And just my skating, I think, is one thing that I really took to heart to work on. I think just in season, you're touching up on a lot of things, but I think working on my stride and being quicker, more explosive, playing against bigger guys is going to be huge too.
This off-season, what are the main focuses? Where are you practicing, and how will this development camp help you improve this off-season?
Yeah, I think just those areas, getting better, getting bigger and stronger is first and foremost in the gym, working on that, continuing to put on weight and size. And I think, like I said, my skating, and then just touching up on all the details. You can never be satisfied with where you're at. Just working on your skill, good mix of skill practices, getting in shape towards the end of the summer, and then just continuing to be in the best area come fall training camp.
You participated in the Prospects Challenge last season. What did that experience teach you?
Yeah, I think it was fun. It was good to see all the prospects out there. It's definitely a step up from junior, and you go there, and it's you kind of get your feet wet and you get your first taste of how it all is at that level. It was fun. It was a lot of learning experience for me. I took advantage of it, just learned. I picked the brains of the older guys, some of the guys that have been there for a few years, and just adjusting to the speed and getting better each game. And by the time I left there, I felt a lot more comfortable.
Okay, strong year for you last season, but got to the playoffs. It looked like you took it up even one more notch. How'd you find that next level?
Yeah, I think it was just coming ready to play at the right time. I think just building all year. Like I said, the Prospects Tournament, that really kind of set the tone. And I don't think it was, jumping up the level, but just kind of sinking down to where you train at all year. Where you bring your level, your compete is huge. And I think playoff time is the most fun time of year, and that's where you get to see, the best players be the best players. And, for us, our team went on a good run. It was exciting, and, it was fun to play that hockey.
Winning Humanitarian of the Year last year in the Quebec Major Junior League, what does giving back to your community mean to you?
It's huge. I mean, being a junior player in a small town, Cape Breton, I think it's important for me to connect with the community a little bit there. Everybody back home, it's pretty close-knit, hockey community in the hockey world is a small world too. So I think for me it was just prioritizing how can I, connect with the kids and the families around the community of Cape Breton. I've been there for 3 full seasons now. I'm heading into my 4th. It's been a second home to me, and they've done a great job of taking me in. So I think just doing my part as a hockey player, but then, trying to go above and beyond and give back to, because they deserve it too.
What are some of the initiatives you did within the community?
Just kind of set up a thing where me and my family got 4 season tickets behind the net. We brought 4 kids who may not be able to go to the games with their family and stuff. So the Boys and Girls Club in Cape Breton, they're a great community, place there for the kids to come and share a spot together. They came to the games and they got a hat and they got some popcorn and stuff. And then after the game, they would come down and get a picture, and I talked to them for a little bit. So it was just kind of a small thing, but it went a long way with them.
What a year you had last year. I mean, you really jumped up in your offensive production, one of the top power play guys. What allowed you to take a huge step with your production last season?
Just consistency. Going in as a freshman, you got all those big dogs, those guys to look up to. Learning every day, coming to the rink ready to go, and not really caring where you're at. You got to just trust the process and put your head down. It sounds cliche. It works, and I've just been working hard, and there's a great staff around me there at Western, and the teammates were great, and just all that allowed me to be successful and then really have a breakthrough year.
College hockey has really become a pipeline to the NHL. What about that level of play at college hockey allows you to really develop your game?
Yeah, I just feel like it gets you ready to go. There's not a whole bunch of games, so you really work hard in the practice, get the finer details down, and really love the game. When you go in and play maximum 35 games, you're itching to play games and get out there. So every time you can, you step onto the ice, you're grateful, ready to go, and it's just the process there. Big, strong guys coming a little later, a little older, more ready to go, and it's just good overall to get you ready and get ready for that next step.
How about the other side of it, where you're balancing classes, you have the resources like nutrition and actual strength coaches? How can that also help?
Yeah, definitely with the school part too, right? You're a student athlete, and they really emphasize that. So being able to balance it, they work it with you, but you really got to have time in your schedule and really be committed for when you're either in the classroom, on the ice, in the gym. Eating off the ice too. It's just all those little steps that make you a great hockey player, and if you stay true to it, dedicated, and follow the right path, that it'll work out for you.
Dylan, if you could just scene set for us. You signed your first pro contract. What was that like for you?
Crazy. Yeah, I was a college kid one day, and then next I was flying out on the plane, getting ready to play a hockey game in the AHL. It was a crazy experience. So many things could happen at the end of the year, especially, and trying to stay focused at the season that we had, being in the tournament and all that. So a lot came onto the page there right away. So it was crazy, but I handled it well. It was a great experience, and I loved every minute of it.
Was it Devils all the way? Other teams calling as well? What was that like?
Yeah. Talking to other teams, just seeing the right fit. Where would be the best spot and location. Obviously, I chose here. I'm glad I did. There's great resources, great people, great coaches, and great players all around me. It's a great spot. I'm glad I chose it, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm ready to go come October.
And when you put pen to paper, who from the team reached out from you first to congratulate you and welcome you?
Yeah, I was just talking to all the coaches and the GMs and stuff. A couple of the AHL guys reaching out. I didn't really know too many people going into it. I kind of liked it that way, right? It's that fresh start, and you kind of just get to go in there clean slate and just go out there and prove yourself. So in a way, I was happy that that's how it was, and that was the situation, and it's been great ever since.
What stuck out to you in your short time in Utica?
Just the players and the coaches. Coming in there, I didn't know what to expect. Being the younger guy and the rookie, just playing a couple games. I wasn't sure how they were going to react and respond. It ended up being great. All the guys were awesome, super cool, welcoming, great advice, and they just kind of helped me with my first game and the next few after that. So it was awesome.
On the ice as well, were there any major differences between the AHL level and the college level?
I didn't notice too much. Obviously, everything's a little better, quicker, faster. Guys are stronger, a little older too, more consistent. So it's just the minor details that I noticed were stepping up a notch. Definitely something that I could handle, and I thought I did well in. So it was a great experience, and I didn't think it was too overwhelming, and I jumped right in and started playing right away. So,
what's your main focus for this off-season to make sure you're ready for pro hockey next year?
Yeah, I'm glad I got my toes wet there, playing pro hockey, kind of knowing what to expect. It gives you things and little details to work on. So, just speed, strength, work on the shot always. You're never good enough at something, so I'm just trying to round the game out the best I can and just keep on working.
Plenty of new talent, some returning talent. Two of the players that you saw for the first time with Utica, Vilen and Chase Stillman. What did you see out there last season?
Well, I just feel like there's a lot of maturity to That's what's so enjoyable about following these young players and getting involved with their development. You get to see them grow up from, young men into high-end hockey players, and you just see. I mean, it's not a long thing. Over a couple months, all of a sudden, I just see a little bit of difference in their game, their composure, just kind of their stature, the way they carry themselves. So always very enjoyable, and to watch. Specifically players that we worked last year with, Topias Vilen and Stiller are two guys that stuck out for me.
What stuck out about their performances?
Well, I think, again, just that there's a lot of areas that, I'm talking like I talk to my kids. You harp on them a lot and you say a lot of things. You never know how much is sinking in at times. And then you see them out here over the last 2 days, and it's like, all right, taking a little bit of a leadership role and making strides in their own personal games that make you feel not only are they listening, but exactly what you expect high-achieving young individuals.
There's a lot of drafted kids who are stronger, more physical, taller. What are you just seeing on the development of the farm system and the prospects that are here at camp?
Well, I think it's an exciting time for the Devils organization because it certainly, I think every one of our draft picks, other than one, is here from the draft in Vegas last week, and now you get to see them live. There are a lot of big kids in there, man. They are large, strong-looking individuals, and I think that is something I wouldn't say it's an exact type we're looking for, but certainly some powerful, talented players, and it's early in their development stage, but it's nice to lay eyes on them.
You know Chase's dad and how he played the game. Does he resemble Dad and how he plays, being that hard-working type of athlete out there on the ice?
Yeah, Chase is a guy that he's very sincere about how he goes about his business. He's a hard-working kid. He's on the ice early. He wants to take strides to get better. He's had some injury challenges. That's part of the package when you play the game the way he does, which is there's not too many confrontations or hard areas that he shies away from. So that's going to be part of the package for him. But for him to be an impactful player, I think he realizes exactly how he has to play. And sometimes it's not going to show up on the score sheet, but given his skill set and the way he's moving forward, we're really excited that he's going to be a long-term contributor here in Newark.
Coach, who was one player who maybe you hadn't seen before, the past couple of days that you were excited to get your hands on and work with?
Well, it wasn't anybody. I mean, obviously our first rounder this year, Anton, is there's a stature that you notice right away, obviously. But to see him out on the ice and see some of his skill set, you go, okay, it's not only a size thing. There's the way he handles the puck, the way he shoots the puck, and just a kind of a youthful enthusiasm that he carries out there, just these little drills that we've been doing. He scores a goal and there's a little celebration. So there's I guess what you call a lust for life, and there's just something that just really bodes well for his future. So he certainly sticks out.
He's just 17 years old. What is there anything about his game that you look at and you say it looks a little more mature than him just being a 17-year-old?
I like, we talk about his size and his ability to skate, but the way he shoots a puck, it's got some extra zing on it. I think he rang one off the crossbar and almost hit the roof here after. It was like, okay, that thing had some momentum to be able to get that high. So I think it just says that there's some untapped strength in that body of his. And like you say, 17, literally between 17 and 19 is such a huge difference. So there's a lot of growth, both physically and maturity. But to me, I just look at it and I say, there's a guy that's just really passionate about what he's doing right now.
And at the end of last season, you got Dylan Wendt late. What are you excited about with him? What did you see from him, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, Dylan, as advertised, is a guy that he plays the game incredibly hard. I think the areas that we've talked about is getting a little more comfortable in the puck area when he's around, whether it was not as much in the confrontation side, but he got an opportunity when he's got it and try to create some offense on that. But I think his physicality and his understanding, the small snapshot we saw of him in Utica last year, is he's going to be a player that's is really going to have to play a game that may not put him at the top of the stats, but is going to be an impactful player for our team by going out there, playing the right way, playing hard, and being hard to play against.
I'm curious your thoughts on what Tom has done here since in the off season, I guess the past 3 months, in creating a bigger, stronger team here to surround this young talent that they have.
Right. It starts in net. I had Jacob Marks from right about this. I think he was about 19 years old when we were in Florida, and he was just kind of earning his way into the NHL, and it's amazing how quickly those years skip by. Great composure, great size. You look at what we've done on the back end with our defensive additions. I think it just gives some of our younger players a little more breathing room as far as their development, and gives you a little protection as far as the type of ice time that they're logging. So great moves all around, good additions. I think from my years playing against New Jersey, I'm looking in the background, I got to stare at that Stevens and Danico friggin' big old things over there, and I know it's always build big and hard, right? That's the way it is around here. So I think that's a formula that looks very familiar right now.
I'm curious your thoughts on what you thought of Shimon his first year, because you played such a huge role giving him PK time to get him adjusted to that defensive type of system, that role that they would want here. What would you think of Shimon?
Well, it's his second year. Right, because he had a full year, didn't get a game in New Jersey, and hey, kid's second in pick overall. It spells the commitment that we make as an organization to development, that we're not going to put players in positions that they are going to get exposed or maybe stunt their growth a little bit. So it was literally almost a year and a half before he got his first NHL game, and then it was like, hey, kid's ready, let's go. I was excited right from the get-go. I thought he had a great start. I know the coaching staff here was very pleased with the way he was playing early. He had some hiccups and burps along the way, like all young kids do, but he's just a real dynamic, stubborn. He really is, and he's a hard kid. He's a very, very mature kid. He's been living by himself for a number of years, for just a young man, but he's the kind of guy that you really look forward to watching his career, not only at the beginning here, but as it's going to evolve. I know I say that a lot, but I really do believe that he's going to be a long, hard, stalwart on the blue line for the Devils.
Another defenseman in this camp, Seamus Casey. What have you learned about his game?
Well, I think Seamus is coming out of. I had a good conversation with him yesterday, and about the decision-making to leave college. It's not easy, right? I mean, he's in one of the best schools in the nation. It's enjoyable. They're successful on the ice. There's so many good things that go along with his situation at school. But at the end of it, you've got to make hard decisions to move on. And he made that decision. He's come in. We've made some defensive moves. I don't think that's frustrated him. I think there's obviously a skill set on the offensive side of things that don't stick out in a camp like this. It's not really based on scrimmage, but he has a skill that composure, the ability to make plays under pressure, that we're excited to see him at the pro level playing against men and professionals, and it's early in his career, and we're looking forward to seeing him in Buffalo at rookie camp, and go into main camp, and off we go on your professional career.
Also, how important is building AHL depth in addition to that NHL depth, and what does that do for the overall development of the players that eventually come up?
I don't think it goes unnoticed, doesn't go unnoticed by our fan base. I mean, it's important. You know, Utica is a long, proud franchise that wants to have good teams there, and I think when you see the moves that were made by the Devils in the last couple of weeks, there's an understanding that that's impactful on how our roster is put together as well. So it's a huge factor. I think Fitzy certainly understands that. I think he's proven that with a guy like, Nemec, and then signing guys, whether it's AJ Greer a few years ago that has gone on to a successful NHL career. It's good stuff. You got Holtz, you got Zetterberg, and Zetterlund, two Swedish meatballs there. They are off, and they're in other organizations now, but, you always wish players that you had, and that's part of the process, is having a good quality American League team.
Thank you.